What's going on, guys? JHoyt back with you today. Welcome back to episode number 15 of the Chicago Blackhawks franchise mode. And if you guys remember last episode, we faced off against the Nashville Predators in the first round of the playoffs. We ended up taking that series, and we're super excited because now we got past the first round of the playoffs. We're pretty hyped. And then comes our kryptonite so far, the Dallas Stars. They eliminated us for the second year in a row. Both series went to 6 games. Dallas ended up making it to the Stanley Cup Final and facing off against the New York Rangers. And the Rangers ended up taking that one. So it kind of sucked. And now we're on to the off-season. We're starting with the entry-level draft. And we got a first round. I think we have one first round pick, a second round, a third round. I think a couple fourths, a couple fifths. I don't think we have a sixth, maybe a seventh or something like that. I said it last video before that. But let's get right into it. This draft seems really top heavy, and then after our pick, it seems to be some decent people. So we still have Perlini on the trade block. For the same reasons as before. He just didn't really perform this season or in the playoffs. So I guess let's just simulate to our user pick here. So we're at 21. We're going to call time. That's offer trade. I wanted to call a timeout just so we have a little bit of time here. I'm not going to use the full time, but just so we do have some extra time if we need it. So let's go back to the start of the draft here. So 84 overall. Oh my goodness. So, all right. So, we got some good competition here. 83 overall. Goes second overall. Wow. Couple of mid-70s. All right. So, yeah. You had a couple of really good picks, but then after that, the occasional a pick or two. I actually think I marked this guy off. And, yeah, I think I marked... Yeah, I did. I marked that guy off. I pinned him, so I was gonna hopefully he would drop. But all right, so I guess let's check out the draft and see if there's anyone that is of interest. So it looks like a lot of defensemen are with us right now. I did mark off this guy, and I don't remember why. Maybe because he had the B's. I don't remember. But it looks like we're probably gonna take a defenseman here unless something crazy comes up. It sucks because some of these guys aren't scouted very well. And it doesn't lead to a very full report on them. So it kind of sucks, but I think we're just going to have to go with the defenseman up here. Because it looks like he's going to be the best option. Top 4. It looks like to be medium potential. That's not a bad pick, though. 63 overall, top 4 defenseman. I'll take that. I believe we do have a second round pick as well. And... if the draft becomes not interesting at some point, I'm probably just gonna cut it off, and we'll see in the re-sign stage. But for now, we'll try to get through the first couple rounds with hopefully something happening here. Derek Leach, 5'9", so he's relatively tiny, but he could be something for us. I don't want to just get defensemen, but I also want to get the best players possible. And like I said before, none of these guys are really scouted very well. Which doesn't help our case. So we got a goaltender up here that's apparently never played. We got some more defensemen, C's and D's. What we got down here? C's and A, B, C and D's. What else we got? Center. Just everyone's not scouted very well, so it kind of sucks. But let's come up here, try to find somebody. I think we're just going to go with Derek Leach here. Left wing, he's tiny, but look at a guy like Johnny Gaudreau. He can make the tiny work. 61 overall, top 9, medium potential. Not a bad pick. Obviously, I'd love to get a lot more out of a first couple of rounds of picks. But it doesn't really look like there's, great picks. So probably after this pick, I will cut it. And we'll see it in the re-sign stage. But let's get through this last pick of this round, the third round pick. And can we find something? Or maybe get lucky and just take a chance on somebody that isn't drafted that might end up being something. So top 9. Got anything on here? Didn't score a point somehow. Ooh, we got a gem right here. All right, let's check out this guy first. 10 and 5. All right, so that's pretty good numbers. What's this? Oh, actually, he has a CCB. All right, gem right here. Somehow he's a gem. Screw it. Let's take a goaltender. He's got some decent stats. He should be something. Okay, or 57 fringe starter. So he'll probably grow into his role or into a pick. So we do have another 3rd round pick. I guess we'll just after the 3rd round, whenever that comes to be, then we'll I guess cut it off. But let's find one more good thing here before we leave. One more good thing. Top 4. He's 20 years old though. Doesn't really have the best stats. Right-hand defenseman. His weakness is skating, which is something you don't want to see. A lot of busts right there. Any gems or anything down here? A lot of busts. Wow. A lot of people are just sucking, apparently. What about this guy? Oh, my gosh. Just no one really good. So, I guess I'm going to try to sort it by potential. See if maybe a franchise-level goaltender's up there. And there's nobody. So, let's go with this guy. Sergei Zetsov. Let's just take a random pick. See if it works. Hey, 61 overall, top 6, medium potential. So that's going to be the last pick of the draft for the video at least. But, you know, for my next, 10 minutes, I'll be going through and trying to find good picks. So here we are back with the re-sign stage. We got through the draft. We ended up trading away the rest of our picks from this year for all... we traded away every pick, which would be a 4th, or was it 2 fourths? No, it was a 4th, a 5th, and it was 5 picks total. We traded the rest of our picks this draft for 4 picks next year, 4th through 7th, from Winnipeg. They wanted our picks, and we wanted to get rid of our picks. So they accepted it, and there was nothing really in the trade. I mean, the end of that trade was, or the end of the draft was terrible. So I wasn't missing out on anything. But, all right, let's get into re-sign stage time. I got my hockey number calendar thing up, and now is the time to get into re-signing people. So, obviously, we have our top 3 centers there. McLeod, we definitely want him back. Yeah, let's go with a 1-year contract at 1.5. Because I really don't want to, spend 2 point whatever million on you just yet because you barely played in the NHL. Kruger as a 4th line center. He was decent for us. Still negative in the plus minus. So he does want a reasonable contract, but I think I'm gonna release him only because I want to get someone new in there because he just really, I don't know, his just numbers weren't that greatest. Sajan's already signed. 14 came up. And had a big goal in the playoffs. So 59 points. He actually had, he was the one that had the 3-point game. So let's give him a 1-year deal. Let's go 800 there. Get him back. Highmore, bottom 6. 40. Okay, so he had a couple of decent years. I guess let's re-sign him. We're gonna give you a 1-year deal at 800,000 for you. Noel, bottom 6 again. See, what's sad is all these guys are right on the bubble of potentially making the jump. But 800,000 here. Most likely, if these 3 guys don't make the jump this next year or find spots next year, I'll probably end up trading them all away for just younger guys. Because I can't keep around guys that, aren't making, an impact. And that goes along with Spears here as well. 1-year contract. You want 750? I'm down with that. B. Kemp here. I think it's Brett Kemp. You had how many points? 131? All right. I mean, we need centers. And although he is an AHL top 6 forward there, I think I'm going to sign him. Just to kind of see. And then we have that guy down there as well. So, We'll count numbers later. All right, so left wings. So this is where it gets kind of weird because obviously we want Saad. Oh, how much money do we have this year? 17 mil. All right, so we didn't really spend anything crazy here. We just had the 1.5 there. So, all right. Do we have anything crazy amount of money other than Sod? Our defenseman and Saros. So, okay. So, we'll get to them later on, and we'll figure that out. But, all right. Brandon Sod. What do you want for contract? You want 6 at 6. I don't really want to give him a 6-year deal. I like a 4-year deal. That takes him to about 32, 33 years old. And if we can save some money on this, because I really don't want to spend 6.5 on him. Let's go 5.5 at 4 years. And hopefully he accepts that, because if it is, that's kind of like a perfect contract for us in a way. Then Perlini, if you want like $1 million, I'll give it to you, but you don't. So I'm going to give you a qualifying offer, and we're probably going to look for a trade for him. Sabatka, what did he do last year? All right, so 23 points, -3. He's a guy that I really want to sign, but he doesn't seem like he wants to re-sign with us. So I guess let's just offer him 1 at 1 and see if he wants that. I probably could offer him 900,000 there, and he probably would have been fine. But not 25 points, 24. I mean, he hasn't really gotten better since we've had him, and he's been playing on top lines down there. But I've been kind of doing the same thing with the other guys, giving him a chance. So although I don't really want to re-sign him, I'm going to give him a chance. Brandon Gignac. He's actually been pretty decent from what I remember. Yeah, he's a goal-scoring machine down there. 23 goals last year, 30 points. I mean, gone up this year. So he's learning how to pass the puck as well. But let's give you a 1-year deal at $750. Again with David Levin here. 100 points in the OHL. All right. Even though he's an AHL top 6, I'm going to give him a chance. Because sometimes I've had those guys turn out to be something that actually pretty good. But all right, we have no other left wings there. Right wings. We basically already have our 4 for the NHL. I'm going to release Lewis because we didn't really use him the way we should have last year. And then we got the rest of our guys here. Then we got defense. All right, so any instant releases here. Gustafson, yeah, he's way too low of an overall. So that kind of sucks, but just something we have to do. But all right, so we got 2 and 2 up top here, and we have Yoki Haru, who wants. I kind of want to give him like a bridge contract. Yeah, because he hasn't really been like he's gotten worse every year. I mean, we've like thrown his role for a completely new loop, but. Like I said, I don't want to pay 3.5 for him just yet. I'm feeling maybe a 2 at 2.5 type of deal. Just to kind of give him a couple more years experience first. Before we go give him some crazy contract that he doesn't really deserve. Ali Levy, same thing. We had him up in the NHL. He wasn't really doing that great. So we sent him down. He did all right down there. But we needed him to do well up in the NHL. Same thing. If we can get him to like a really low contract, I'll give you like 1.75 at 2. Hopefully he'll do that. Alex Martinez, I don't believe we're going to be able to re-sign, but just out of curiosity, ooh, you actually want like a decent contract too. Do we have room for him? No, we don't, because we also have Forsland down here that I'd like to give a chance to. So we'll release Martinez. Forsland, wait, no matter what, we're going to have an open spot, right? Yeah, 1, 2, and then Ulevi. So then we have 1, 2, and then a right-hand defenseman, right? Or no, we have Boquist up there. I forgot about him. So we have 3 and 3 right now. It sucks because I really want Forsland to be in the NHL. But we just don't really have the room for him right now. And that really sucks. Yarrow, same thing. They both deserve to be in the NHL, but there's just no room for him. And then McCown down here that we paid so much for. What do we have? He's left-handed, then he's right-handed. All right, so we're pretty much stacked on defensive depth here. If you guys want two-way contracts, I could probably re-sign either of those, but it doesn't look like they want that. So I'm gonna give these guys qualifying offers, and if they don't accept them, I guess let's go to free agency with them. Yeah, if they don't want two ways, yeah, we're gonna say have to. Yeah, so give you a qualifying offer, and then I'm guessing you probably don't want a two-way contract either. Yeah, so we'll send those all those guys to restricted free agency and hope we get them back. But if not, I'm not gonna be really too worried about it. So clear-cut favorite, obviously, to say would be Saros. No question about that. What does he want for a contract? So you don't really want to sign long-term yet, which is interesting. So let's sign you to like 2 years, 3.5 mil. I mean, for a starting goaltender, that's fine. Jordan Binnington, you did absolutely trash when I remember when you were here. Yeah, 2-6. So we can't have that. So we're going to find someone that can do that. Oscar Dansk. You've had decent numbers in the past, but we basically acquired you for depth last year, so we're going to release you. Hunter Mishka. He did well, so I'd be willing to bring him back for an AHL starter down there if you want to do that. So that's fine. So we're going to need a backup goaltender there. So I guess I'll do the count of the numbers, and then we'll see who re-signs. So most of the people didn't re-sign. At least all of the restricted free agents didn't re-sign, plus Saros on our goaltender side. But let's try again. Let's try to get these guys under contract. So I'm going to go with a similar contract for Saad. What we had 5.5 last time. Let's try like a 5.85. It's a little bit higher, but kind of in the middle of what he wants. Let's try to do that. Yoki Haru, what do we want to do with him? Like 2.75-ish? Maybe like 3 years, maybe 2 years. I mean, if we get him for 3 years, that'd be pretty solid there. Levy, probably a similar deal. Maybe like a 2 at 2. What we offered last time I think it was 1.8. So let's try 2 at 2 for him and see how that works. McLeod, you kind of wanted the same thing. So let's offer you like a 2-year deal at like 1.7, 1.85. Let's go 1.85 for 2 years. Yeah, let's try that. Then Forsland, Perlini, we didn't even offer a contract to. But then Forsland, Saros, and McCown, we're just kind of waiting on them. And then Sabaka didn't resign. He wants to test free agency. I guess we'll just release him, allow him to do so. We'll find a new couple of fourth line players. Then goaltenders, Saros did not want that contract. So I guess let's offer him 2 years, 4 mil. I'm fine with that. So I guess let's go one more day, see who resigns. And hopefully we don't have too many holes to try to fill. All right, day number 3 of trying to re-sign all of our players. And we got Saad and a couple of restricted free agents left to try to sign. Saad just, I don't know what he's doing. I think he just wants more money for what years he's getting. But let's try 6 mil at 4 years. It's a little bit higher than the last contract. And I guess let's just kind of, keep doing the same thing, upping the money a little bit and keeping the years around 4. Just because, I feel like that's kind of the best. Yoki Haru didn't want to accept that 2 at 2. What did we offer? 2 at 2.5? Or no, it was 3 at 2.75 we offered before. What do we want to offer now? I really don't want to sign into a 4-year contract. Maybe, let's try something. 2.4 at 2.5 at 4 years. If we can get him to that contract, that'd be huge. Ulevi, you didn't want 2 at 2, which was really interesting. So I guess let's try 2 at 2.5. And if these guys don't offer or don't accept him on these contracts, we're probably going to send them a qualifying offer and hope their asking price goes down. McLeod, you didn't want that. So I really don't want to spend over $2 million for a guy that's played like 10 games in the NHL. So we'll send him a qualifying offer. And then if Ulevi and Yoki Haru don't accept those contracts, we'll also send them a qualifying offer as well. And I don't know if I already said it or not, but Saros did accept that contract, 2 years, $4 million. So I guess let's go one more day. Hopefully these guys accept, and if not, we're going to send them the qualifying offer and see where that leads us. So the only one that didn't accept their contract was Jokiharju, and like we said, we're going to send him the qualifying offer. So we got, what is that, six people? 6 people on restricted free agents are all sent qualifying offers. So, all right. So, like I said, the bottom 3 here, Forsland, Yaros, and McCown. I wouldn't really be upset if someone else took them. I'd like to trade them before someone else signed them. That way at least we get something back. But these top 3, well, I should say Jokiharju and McLeod we want back, and then Perlini we're going to try to trade. So that's going to be something we're going to do. But we have $8 million to kind of deal with right now. So I'm going to count up the numbers and address our needs in free agency. So after counting up all of the players on our team, it looks like we have a solid top 9 for forwards, and we'll need a 4th line basically. But we do have some guys, like I said before, that are trying to make the jump that most likely will get that opportunity. So we have 6 people, and if you do some basic math, 6 minus 3 is 3. So half of them will get a job in the NHL this year, most likely. And the other 3 will be sent down to the AHL for more seasoning. And then for defense, we have our top 6 for the NHL set up. And then we have 5 left-hand defensemen in the AHL. And then we have 6 right-hand defensemen. I believe that does include the restricted free agents for all of these numbers. So that's kind of where we are right now. And we haven't looked at the free agency so far. We did offer Michael McLeod a contract. And no one else really wanted one. So that's where we're sitting right now as we head into free agency. So as you can see, Perlini's still here, and it looks like he's already got an offer. I believe that's from us. I think that's the qualifying offer. So we're going to try to trade him here in a second for what? I don't really know, but for something. But anything else that really kind of, there's Jokiharju. He still wants the same contract as before. But other than that, I don't really see anything really super crazy that we need to make a major move for. Obviously having someone like Teravainen or Schwartz up here would be huge, but we have our own guys that I'm happy with. On the goaltender side, this is where we were kind of questioning, do we want to get an actual starter, number 1 guy like maybe Frederik Andersen, or do we want to stick with Saros and kind of see how that goes? So we do have the option there if we really want him. Frederik Andersen is there. And his numbers aren't completely horrible. So he'd definitely be a number 1 guy, but 7 years would be a massive commitment, and it would kind of not ruin Saros' chances, but it could definitely affect them. So if we don't want to go the starter route with either, actually, would we want to try to get Dubnyk on a 1-year deal for like $6 million? Because since we don't really need to spend money on anything huge this year, and since we're most likely going to be trading Perlini, and we don't have to use that like $5 million, if we just wanted to get Dubnyk for 1 year at like $6 million, that way we have 2 really solid goaltenders, and it's not going to ruin Saros. So that might be something we look into. We do need a lot of AHL help this year, getting some depth, mainly on the forwards, I think. So nothing really too crazy, but for now, I'm going to try to find a trade that makes sense for Perlini, and we'll kind of go from there and kind of figure out what we want to do. So we'll be back with hopefully a trade for Perlini. So welcome back to the video. I know it's only been a second for you, but it's been a while for me. And we've kind of found a couple of trades that potentially could work. And the first one, I kind of wanted to trade Perlini to a Eastern Conference team, mainly because I don't want to deal with him, just in case he actually becomes good and he stays with the team for a long point. But the first team we're going to try to trade Perlini to is going to be the Florida Panthers. And I'll just tell you right now, what I've been looking for is some prospects. Our AHL team is kind of lacking in numbers and in kind of good prospects. So that's what I've been kind of looking for. And in the case of Florida, they actually have 2 guys that I'd be interested in. I didn't really check out the second guy too much, but he seems pretty decent. I was going after Peyton Krebs up here, and when I was looking at the trade value, it does look relatively even, but you never know with NHL 19 trade logic how things will actually work out. So if this one doesn't go through, I don't really want to throw any picks into there. I just want to, see if this one works. And if it doesn't, we have a couple other trades lined up. But will this one go through? No, it doesn't. So, all right. So I feel like we're going to see that message a lot today. The second one actually is to the team right after in the LA Kings. They have a couple of players that I was interested in. So Samuel Poulin, former first-round pick. Him, and since his trade value is a little bit lower, I was going to throw in a guy like, I think it's a Zeke or a Zeliel or something. I don't even know. Thomas. And this one does look even as well. Let's try this one. No, apparently it doesn't look even. But I kind of want these two guys, honestly. So we did have a couple of their trades, but out of all of them, this is the one that made the most sense. And then the Krebs one was just kind of like a hopeful thing. So let's see if we can throw in some unsigned prospects or somebody to see if we can make this trade go through. All right, so I didn't think too long about this one, but let's try to throw in just one of our AHL guys that would be looking for a spot next year and see if that goes through. So it doesn't. Let's try to look at maybe some more rookie skaters and see if there's anyone there. And we do have obviously all of our restricted guys right now, and I don't really want to get rid of any of them. And then these guys aren't really worth much down here. So I guess we could try this guy. Is this guy anything that we'd really care about? I mean, you put some points, but you're already 20 years old and not 60 overall yet. So let's try to throw in him for this, and still rejected. So I guess maybe let's try to find some other guys exactly like the guy we just put in there down on this point, and see. So I guess let's throw you in there. And anyone else we could possibly throw in there. So 64 now. I want to keep him. All right. So I guess let's just try to add the one other guy there. Still no. Goaltenders are also perfect trade. Trade like random trade value equalizers. I'll call it. I don't really know what to call that. But Wiseman we just got this year. But he does have a little bit of trade value on his side, and it does go through. So we had to give up a couple extra prospects to make this one go. But we got Poulin and we got Thomas, both of which I believe could be something good for us. And we get rid of a guy in Noel that, wasn't really looking to have much future in our organization. So that's kind of good. But now, obviously, we have Perlini gone, and now it's time to make the big decision that we talked about before. And we don't want to trade anyone else. We wanted to go see the free agents. So like I said before, I don't really want to go after anyone, too crazy, because we have, just above 8 mil, I believe. Yeah, basically right at 8 mil. All right, so getting rid of, I guess he's restricted, whatever. So the only thing I could kind of really want to do would be to go after Dubnyk. Mainly because this is probably his only good year left. And we want Saros to become our number one guy, obviously. That's what we got him for. And not that I don't, trust any of the guys down here or feel like actually scrolling through all of them to try to figure out who's going to be the best backup goalie for us. But in this case, when you have a rare instance like this where we have like a number one guy that wants a 1-year contract and he's still really, really good, that's huge. And plus, if he doesn't work out and he starts sucking, he has probably a lot of trade value. So we can trade him away for literally anything. So I think I'm going to take the risk and try to sign Dubnyk here for like 1 year. And Ottawa and Florida. Interesting. So do we just want to go straight to 6 mil, or do we want to try to go a little bit less than that? I mean, we have the money. We don't really need to spend it on anything else this year. So let's just go for it. 1 year, $6 million. If we can get him, I'd be super happy because we have pretty much the rest of our team figured out except for, some depth players. So that'd be huge. So let's advance a couple of days, see if any of our unsigned restricted free agents sign, and let's see if Dubnyk signs with us. So it does look like Devin Dubnyk wanted to sign here in Chicago, so that's absolutely huge. 89 overall goaltender, elite starting goaltender. It's huge because it's gonna be a 1-year thing, so it's gonna be like an experiment almost. If he doesn't perform, we trade him away, and if he works out, it's kind of like a low risk thing. Yes, we have to spend a whole bunch of money to get him, but in a year where we don't really need to spend any money on anything else, it's perfect. So now's the time to secure some prospects and to try to get all of our people restricted that I forgot about. We need to sign them. So let's try to sign them for really low money and hope it works out. So I think I made a big decision, and I don't know why I made this decision, but I think it's going to be a good one. And I think I'm going to trade away Jokiharju. And the reason behind it is mainly I just don't think he has a future with us. And I hate to say that, but we already have Boquist, right? He's going to be our number one guy for a long time. We have Fowler up there, right? We have Miller down here right now who's still under contract. We have Ulevi. And then coming, we have a bunch of other really good young guys that are just still down there. And Jokiharju right now, he's gotten worse each year we've had him. So I figured, since we're in kind of like this crisis of, trying to find a spot for him, it's made him play worse. And since he hasn't really excelled in any role we put him in, I feel like it's time to just get rid of him. And I hate to do that, obviously, but he just wants a lot of money right now, and he hasn't really earned that money. So he wants like $3.7 million or something like that. And, for like 3 point whatever million he wants, I would want a player that's putting up a lot more than 5 points a year. I guess average of like 8 points a year, maybe 10. And then goes minus 13, minus 4, minus 3, and hasn't really done that great for us. And, especially with the most amount of ice. How does he have the most time on ice per game that has the least amount of minutes? That doesn't make sense. But, I don't know. I feel like it's just time to get rid of him. Just too many red flags. Plus, with Miller there, he's done better than him, so he's earned a spot over him. And then obviously Boquist is the number one. So it gives a guy like McCown or Yaros a chance to play in the NHL and see what they can do. And it might help with Jokiharju's career and could help with our situation. So we head on over to Detroit where they have a player, and I don't remember his first name, but Severson over here, Zachariah, who is a second-round pick from a couple of years ago. He's a defensive defenseman, but he seems to be pretty decent. I mean, he does go positive. He puts up a little bit of penalty minutes, but nothing too, crazy. And it just seems like he can, just hold down the AHL for a year and kind of see what he does down there. So the trade value is a little bit higher on our side. So I'm going to try to get maybe another prospect or maybe even a pick out of this. I think that's pretty fair, right? Jokiharju for Severson and a third-round pick. Will that go through? Yes, it does. So, it's unfortunate, and after kind of, looking at our team and trying to figure out what we could possibly do to make our team better, getting rid of Jokiharju was definitely one of the things we just kind of had to do. And it sucks, but we have other guys that are just performing that much better than him. So, I mean, it sucks, but I'm done justifying it. So let's try to sign these other guys real quick, and let's try to finish out our team. So we've advanced another about 10 days or so, and everyone that was under restricted free agent, we actually were able to sign. So that'd be McLeod. We offered him 1 year, $1.7 million. He finally accepted that after lowering his asking cost down a little bit. So we now have him in the mix down here. Then we also were able to sign McCown, Yaros, and Forsland all to 1 year, $1 million contracts. Before Yaros could accept his deal. We had another qualifying offer from another team come in, and they offered him 2 years at $1.09 million. So it kind of throws it a little bit for a loop, but we decided to match his contract because it's basically what we wanted anyway. So we were able to re-sign those guys. We got Severson back in the mix, and now we have basically free agent prospects to sign. So we're going to kind of fill up our AHL team and get right into kind of wrapping up the video and showing you guys kind of the preseason roster and see who kind of makes the team. Will be, I guess, at the start of the next video. But for the meantime, I'm going to sign some guys, and then we'll be back for the preseason roster reveal. So here we are at the preseason, and I'm not going to go into the regular season in this video. This is going to be the end of this one. But I just kind of wanted to give you guys a little recap roster of what we're going to be working with for the preseason. So this is how it's going to start off. Like I always say, we're going to do the preseason off camera, so you guys come into the regular season wondering who's going to be our starting lineup. But this is what it's going to look like for right now. Basically, our fourth line, there's a few guys that are in contention for that. So we're going to go with who performs the best and who plays the best. So we got 14, McLeod, and Highmore in there right now. But then scratch, we have Knott as well that has a chance to get in there. So then on defense, this is where it's going to look a little bit different. We have Fowler and Boquist, Ulevy and Miller, and then we have Forsland and McCown just to start off. Then as you probably saw in the scratch thing, we have Keith and Yaros scratch to start. Keith will definitely be there. It's just the fact that I wanted to give Ulevy and Forsland a chance in there, just to kind of see what they can do. So during the preseason, as you know, we swap up everything and see how everyone plays, and we try to get the best roster we can. And then goaltenders, there's no real battle here, but Dubnyk and Saros are going to be in the net, and then yeah, so that's going to be our start to the season. So hopefully you guys did enjoy this one. I know it's a long one as per usual. The off season usually is very, very long. But, we got to get through a lot in the episode. So, like I said, I hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, make sure you hit the like button down below. If you haven't already, make sure you hit the subscribe button. It's free. And it lets you know when I make new content. And as always, guys, we'll see you next time.